before level 4, it's always good to look at what side you want to play.
Yeah.
We look at the ultimates. It's either the Lady Xin or the Dun.
Yeah, like I said, double destructive deluge is gonna be.
Look at that, Briggs just taking extremely low
chops for it, but here again, L is just giving over the vision, making sure he's catching the rotations of the Dolia and the Lady Sun.
Those Fireflies be hitting hard, but thanks to Vento and Man of Freezer, they're trying to sustain this lane into a very good style right now. And look at mid lane right now, 2v2 strong. The Tyrant is being spawned in just short of 30 seconds here. So both junglers, they're utility junglers, they're tank junglers here. They will want to look for these big engages to fight for this Tyrant.
Should DMT just go for the Tyrant immediately? They know that they were going to clean blue and then they might have the priority to move. Do they have the power right now to take that fight?
This will depend on whether Loops, ABH, whether he wants to continue this jungle pathing here, or does he want to give up the jungle pathing and come for this Tyrant. There's also another option where both of them just come and fight for this Azure God, but no. All of them, they want to fight for this Tyrant right now.
Look at
I
that.
mean, getting that damage earlier online for the Lady Sun. Vento here could be crazy, but I mean, DMT, they have the kit. Is it going to be strong here? No, it's going to be DMT that gets the kill. There we go, Loops. He gets stuck into the thick of it. Guayu into the backline, overcommitted and pays with his life. Freaks gets first blood.
Guayu flashes in, comes, and then just misses, and then he's gonna pay with his life. It's gonna be first blood for Loops.
That was actually a very good angle here coming in from Guayu, but he managed to miss on so many important targets here. But I gotta say, one, immediately flashing away, reaction time was crucial, was on time.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with the Lady Gem, right? I mean, yes, she does the damage, but she is very easy to catch out unless she used that knock-up to turn you a little bit more of a status splendid effect with her skill set. But sometimes you just are under pressure and aren't able to get that. L, using the Ride the Wind, is able to get into the brush here. Another unique thing for the pick of Sakia, but still a lot of pressure being put into the top side of the map.
That's a lot of pushing power and healing coming in from the side of Dominator here. Just look at how much L and TNX is providing in terms of the healing here. But still, Loops, hold on strong. The tier 3 over to the top side of Loops is still standing.
Even though they just lost that fight over there, but I still feel like DMT has a little bit more control of the map. They decided just to make that quick rotation right now, sending Guayu over there to the farm lane. And right now, it's going to be free for him.
For me, okay, let's break it down a bit. Let's go back to the drafts, right? Loops, if they can make it a 50-50 until 12 minutes, they have more chance of winning the game because this Lady Sun will scale into a monster. Dominator, they're playing on a tracker, a clock right now. They need to make sure that they find these crucial engages, these early game objectives, and make sure they have a lead to really close out the game during the big Tyrant fight.
And that timer is going to start running out of time in any second. You know that they need to start making moves, and they need to make those moves count.
Make them all count. I mean, they are doing that exactly right. Like, they are countering and at least mirroring the efforts here of DMT, especially down to the bottom side of the map. However, they could lose this T1 into the mid lane. That big dive there for Joel. He gets taken down, but he does get ABH with him. So 1-1 trade for now. Guayu, they have to be careful on side of Loops. He's looking for those lone stranglers.
Ooh, the jungle is on fire. Yes, it's a 1-4-1, but they come up on top, securing the entire Azure side for the side of Loops here. DMT comes out on top with this win here right now. They're knocking onto this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, gotta be careful though. I mean, this is gonna be crucial for the side of Loops if they lose this T1. They're just doing everything to take the critters down, take the minions down so they don't have to face the inevitable. But we've seen a bit of a great macro here from Guayu, right? He's putting a lot of pressure down to that side lane because then Vento has no safe space to go back to farm.
Exactly, and look at this. For the past 3 minutes here, the Dominator Waves clear has been doing much of a better lane priority compared to Loops. It's always Loops having to travel, losing priority, and clean the waves after them.
As they need to start this traveling, they lose time, and that time over there just starts snowballing into a bigger advantage.
It does snowball. I mean, it's time lost gathering resources, right? We were saying that in game number 1, but right now, obviously, Loops are behind into the gold, which is a bit unfortunate for them, but they are still playing to that late game Tyner for Vento, right?
I think right now, the main focus is this mid tier 1. If this thing goes down, there's so much map control that's going to be the hands of Dominator Esports. Look at how much resources being invested right now. 8 players strong standing in mid tower.
Joel just waiting in the wings here. Obviously, his teammates are taking a lot of damage. TNX looking pretty low, may be able to stay alive thanks to the Gorge mobilization. But again, just these macro plays from Guayu, just once more, he's getting his presence felt down to the bot side of the map.
The Dharma rotations, the split pushing in there, just almost taking down that tier 2 turret, putting a lot of pressure on Loops as well.
But with all that resources, Loops Freaks still comes out on top in terms of the level lead. So definitely, Freaks is also doing a decent job in making sure that he gets sufficient resource to be this backline threat that can be so devastating in the later stages of the game.
Very devastating, but what could be more devastating is another Tyrant for the side of DMT. I mean, they're already displaying they can do a lot of damage, and this is just going to give them that increase that necessarily they don't need at this point. They are taking kills from Loops, they are doing a lot of damage onto the enemy team as well.
Loops cannot contest that in any way right now. There might not be a very big gap in gold, but the gap in damage right now at this moment is just too big. Loops cannot jump into a big fight.
But guys, the clock is ticking. Ladyson is slowly ramping up. Once he gets that Daybreaker, it will spell a lot of pressure coming in from the side of Dominator's draft. So Dominator, your win condition, Guayu, Jero on these hyper engages will have to look for the angle on this Ladyson later on.
I mean, now that they've actually taken the T1 into the mid lane, I feel like there's definitely a little bit more access to the side of DMT to get on top of Vento. I mean, they don't have a Paracel this time. They only have the Rolling Raid to get out of jail if you are in a sticky situation. And Guayu, his presence hasn't been felt for that first little slip up within those team fights, right? The flash in, overextended, he died. He's just trying to make sure that his presence is felt onto the Gorge. He's doing a bit of a macro play because his micro wasn't quite as good in the early game.
It's all about these small engages, right? All these small exchanges. But that one big team fight, that will cement the lead that all these teams are looking for.
15 seconds for the Dark Tyrant, the Dark Overlord just to come in. And then that's going to be the cue to see if Loops can turn things around, because that Ladyson is almost at that moment.
Getting to that point, right? I mean, we're seeing obviously the minion wave being fed through up the top side of the map, and now we're getting into that mid-game status, that 10-minute mark where Loops is yet to find their footing within these neutral objectives. But here we are, Jill always in onto the back line. We see the Guayu looking to get into this fight as well, looking to prove himself within this next team fight, and ABH, one of both down. Unfortunately, not going to be able to contest this Shadow Tyrant.
This is DMT's comfort zone, their comfort draft. They come in prepared with the Maestro Nui, with the Guayu's Dharma here, and that wasn't even with the Dharma at all. It was just one Maestro Nui, and that Vento on the Ladyson couldn't do damage at all.
Didn't take damage at all. He was kind of just making sure his positioning was in a safe space, because even though he may not actually get to perform onto this lady soon, he's definitely playing the positioning very well. But DMT, like I said, into the draft, have to play this very aggressive. They need to make sure they're getting the gates into these lanes and not just stopping at those T2s like game 1.
The only way that they can turn things around is Ladyson not falling. As long as Ladyson can just continue, just keep getting all the gold possible, Loops will still have a little bit of hope. But in the moment that that Ladyson is going to fall, I don't know what could do the Dominator to lose this match.
Yeah, I mean, Vento there, we just saw with the gold charts, the right side of the map, we saw that it was actually Vento who's at top of that gold lead right now. So I suppose if they keep funneling that in, if they keep Vento alive, we may be seeing a bit of a turnaround here for Loops. But right now, looking to try and contest this Shadow Overlord. Who is he going to go for? ABH gets the stun, but Guayu into the backline is going to make them pay. Vento down, one down, no damage for the side of Loops.
This is what we're talking about. You were saying, where was Guayu on this Dharma? He was nowhere for the entire 11 minutes. But that was the crucial elite needed to break the game apart. That's the crucial engage that we talked about the crucial Dharma crowd control.
The crucial crowd control from Dharma was pretty crazy. I mean, like you were saying, his presence wasn't felt in that first team fight. He made a mistake. He got his head into the game making pressure into these macro plays, and then he felt the time was right, and that was definitely it. But Loops able to come back from a miracle of that rush onto the top side of the map here from DMT, but they're still not looking to let Loops get a bit of a comeback.
Guayu is just a force to be reckoned, man. Like right now, they need to keep their eyes on his rotations because they almost closed the game in there with just one Guayu's move.
And just look at this replay. Immediate Guayu, 4-man knockout onto the wall with this truth mantra. That was nasty. Immediately deleting Vento 1 and ABH from the map.
Nasty, but I mean, we have to give props to Joel as well, right? Joel was the real kind of like backline access into the side of Loops Esports within that team fight. But again, L with these Mulberry players is really putting a stop into the motion of Loops as they try and capitalize on these team fights.
14 minutes, Dominator needs to be smart in when they want to engage. They do not want to take this fight. They might want to go for the dark time. Guayu jumps in!
Russian once again, he gets one, he gets Vento! Looking for Metal Freezer is the side of DMT. They're looking for more. They lose Joel, but they're looking to bring those minion waves in to get that high ground turret.
Guayu, another fantastic truth mantra. Look at that. Are you not amazed by this?
I am amazed, but can they keep it up for once more? LABH and Freaks are doing their best, but he cannot soak that much damage into this late game. Dude is not as tanky as he should be. We have the minion waves just right now coming in slowly for the side of DMT.
They need to calm down right now because right now Loops is going to have all of their people back. They have 4 players back. The rotation from Dominator is going to be for that Dark Tyrant.
Okay, they gotta play slow. We've seen before teams faltering at the high ground several times.
Yeah.
So now they pick the Shadow Tyrant, they recuperate, they collect the buffs, and they will look for another push, and they will look for the game-winning play right now. They have the timer set on the timer.
90 seconds right now is going to be that buff that they will have. Can they finish this game in 1.5 minutes to don't push it to the Tempest Dragon?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen many teams in this situation, right, where they get a little bit too frustrated. They get to the crystal, they don't focus on the enemy team, they try and rush the crystal, and it is a detrimental play to them. But right now, DMT with the minion waves in mid into the farm lane. Can Loops keep these alive?
ABH takes a lot of damage, gets nuked down. That's one tank down.
One tech down for sure, definitely for the side of Loops. I mean, already looking like 5 men to 4. YU into the mid lane, just making sure that that package is coming in securely for those minions.
Both the mid and the farm lane waves are coming in at the same time. This might be the last fight. It's going to be a 5 against 4. Dominator has the priority right over here.
For you have flash.
Yes, we have obviously Joel trying to just keep Freaks in line, but right now we have the critters, we have the minions, but we have the Destructive Deluge just keeping them knocked down. But right now is Vento, pretty much low health. He's doing the damage, but is it going to be enough? Mano Freezer using the Wave Breaker to keep this base alive.
Man, this is what I'm talking about. Vento playing on timer here. Look at that damage. They couldn't touch Vento, and he was consistently staying alive, dishing out so much DPS around the sideline.
They got to watch out for it, right? I mean, they are able to catch ABH in the early part of the team fights, which isn't an issue because they have the denial of the Dolia, they have the denial of the Byron as well.
Okay, just check it out. Like the DPS, usually we see Lady Sun, yep, a lot of damage here, but look at the Siege Breaker here. He's going full damage, 0 defensive. If he dies once, the game is over here.
That's it. He's just going, we're going to start throwing hands, and then I'm going to put you down immediately as I see you.
Yeah, as soon as Vento falls, it's an issue. 1 has been falling quite frequently, 0-4, but he's been doing enough to keep the base alive for now.
And Vento right now, he does not have flash. On the side of Dominator, Guayu has flash on this Dharma here. If they look to play on the timer of Vento's flash, this might be the game-winning push.
Game-winning push? I mean, this time around, the Loops do not have the Vanguards, right? So it is going to be a force against them. Speaking of forces, we have the minions rolling through into the bot side of the map. We're going to see a little bit of Loops just detract from that, the Wind Slash, keeping them from that crystal. A steady advance from Dominator.
This is going to be the last push. It's going to be the first opportunity that Dominator is going to have. The Vanguards are coming in. They're all on the high ground. Stunned is Freaks, and he's trying to run away.
Yeah, Freaks is on the run, but we do get the Wind Slash there. He's going to keep him awake. YU actually misses, but he gets into the back line with the crystal. It's going to be DMT with game number 2.
Once again, Guayu finds it with the Dharma, with the Truth Mantra. He finds Vento. Vento is out, and the game series 1-1.
1-1. I mean, is there any other way to play a low bracket finals, right? They need